Hello everyone. Today we are going to start a new topic of chapter 10th, that is breathing rate and how do we breathe. It means breathing mechanism. Okay. So we have read what is respiration. Okay. So respiration is completed in two steps because we have also discussed in the last video human respiratory system. Now respiration is completed in two steps. These two steps are: first is breathing and second is cellular respiration. As we know, breathing means intake of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide. Generally we say intake of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide. And second step in the respiration, that is cellular respiration. It means after intaking of this oxygen it reaches to the lungs, and in the lungs alveoli are present as we have discussed in the last video. So from the alveoli, this oxygen it is carried by the blood, and with the help of blood, this oxygen it reaches to the each and every cell of a body, where this oxygen it is utilized in the breakdown of food, and after the breakdown of food, carbon dioxide is released along with water and energy. Energy we utilize for doing different functions in our daily life, and carbon dioxide we exhale in the outer environment. So for exhalation of carbon dioxide, again this carbon dioxide is taken by the blood from the cells, and with the help of blood again it reaches to the alveoli, and from the alveoli and this carbon dioxide it takes just reverse path. So cellular respiration means when the food is break down in the presence of oxygen and it releases energy, it is known as cellular respiration. So we can say respiration is completed in two steps. First is breathing, second is cellular respiration. Cellular respiration already we have discussed. Now we will discuss about breathing rate and breathing mechanism. Now first step in the respiration process, that is breathing. So generally we say breathing means intake of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide. But when we inhale, we do not take only oxygen, because air is a mixture of different gases like nitrogen, carbon dioxide, oxygen, dust particle, water vapor. So we can't take only oxygen from the air. So we inhale air. But when we inhale the air, we inhale more percentage of oxygen in the air. That's why we are saying intake of oxygen rich air. It means the air which we inhale, in this air the percentage of oxygen it is high. That's why we say intake of oxygen rich air and release of carbon dioxide rich air. So when we release again air, we do not release only carbon dioxide, because always air is a mixture of gases. We are inhaling air, we are inhaling oxygen rich air, not only oxygen. So when we release the carbon dioxide, again we release the carbon dioxide rich air, because during the releasing of carbon dioxide, the percentage of carbon dioxide it is high in air. That's why we say release of carbon dioxide rich air. So breathing means intake of oxygen rich air and release of carbon dioxide rich air. It is not intake of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide. Always we have to say intake of oxygen rich air and release of carbon dioxide rich air, because air is a mixture of different gases. We can't say only oxygen and carbon dioxide. So breathing it involves also two processes. These are inhalation and exhalation. So when we intake oxygen rich air, this process is known as inhalation, and when we release carbon dioxide rich air, this process is known as exhalation. It means breathing it is done by, it is completed in two processes, inhalation and exhalation. Now next is, so we can say breathing means inhalation plus exhalation, it is formed one breath. Now next topic is breathing rate. Breathing rate means, whenever we talk about rate, it means per minute. So breathing rate means the number of times a person breathes in a minute, it is known as breathing rate. यानी कि हम एक मिनट में कितनी बार हम ब्रीथ करते हैं. वो ब्रीदिंग का मतलब क्या है? वन इनहेलेशन एंड एक्सहेलेशन. इट मीन्स how many times we are inhaling the oxygen rich air and how many times we are exhaling the carbon dioxide rich air in a minute. It is known as breathing rate. So the number of times a person breathes in a minute, it is known as breathing rate. So one breathing rate means one inhalation, then exhalation, again inhalation and exhalation. So it is a alternate process. So breathing rate, we are saying number of times a person breathes in a minute, it is known as breathing rate. So in a different condition, our breathing rate can be changed. If in a normal condition, on an average, in an adult human being, our breathing rate is 15 to 18 times per minute. It means in a 1 minute we breathe 15 to 18 times, or we can say 15 times we inhale and 15 times we exhale, because breathing means one inhalation and one exhalation. But during heavy exercise, our breathing rate increases and it becomes 25 to 30 times per minute. And any heavy work, if you are doing any lifting, any heavy weight, and if you are cycling, running, during this time our breathing rate increases and it becomes up to the 25 to 30 times per minute. But in the normal condition, our breathing rate, it is 15 to 18 times per minute. Now our next topic is breathing mechanism. It means how do we breathe. Again we are saying breathing means inhalation and exhalation of air. But how we intake air in our body and how do we release carbon dioxide rich air from our body, and which structure they help in this process. So as we have discussed in the last video, human respiratory system. So lungs, they are present in the chest cavity of our body. This is the chest cavity of our body, and the floor of the chest cavity, it is made up of the diaphragm. Diaphragm, it is a muscular partition which separates the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity. So lungs are present in the chest cavity of our body, and the floor of the chest cavity, it is made up of the diaphragm. So the first is mechanism of inhalation. Okay, because always in a breathing, inhalation and exhalation. So first we are talking about mechanism of inhalation. Okay. So we are saying the lungs are present in the chest cavity of our body, and the floor of the chest cavity, it is made up of a diaphragm. And lungs, they are present in the chest cavity, they are protected by the rib cage. They are protected by the rib cage, because some internal organs like heart and lungs, they are protected by the rib cage, so they can be protected from the external damage. And rib cage, it is formed by three structures. These three structures are ribs, sternum and backbone. These three structures, they form a rib cage. Okay. So 12 pairs of ribs are present, and from the front side, these ribs, they are connected with the sternum, and from the back side, these ribs, they are connected with the backbone. It means the rib cage, it is formed by three structures: ribs, sternum and backbone. So the ribs and diaphragm, they help in the breathing process. It means they help in the inhalation and they help in the exhalation. Now let's understand how they help in the inhalation and how they help in the exhalation. So first is mechanism of inhalation. So inhalation means intaking of oxygen rich air. It is known as inhalation, as we know. So during this time, our ribs, they move outward. Both the sides of ribs, they move outward, and the diaphragm, it moves downward. That's why the space in the area inside the chest cavity, it increases. As the area inside, area increases, we are saying during the inhalation process, the ribs, they move outward and diaphragm, it moves downward. That's why the area inside the chest cavity, it increases. So we are saying area increases, that's why the air pressure, it decreases. We can understand this phenomena by this example, like if you are sitting in a room and the wall of the room, they move outward and the floor of the room, it moves downward. So the area of the room, it will increase. Similarly, By the movement of ribs outward and the diaphragm it moves downward, the area inside the chest cavity it increases. Due to the area increases, the air pressure it decreases, because same amount of air now it is present in the bigger area, so air pressure it decreases. But as compared to our body, the air pressure in the environment it is high, or we can say the oxygen which is present in our body it is lower amount, but the oxygen which is present in the outer environment it is high. And always air moves from high pressure to low pressure. So in the outer environment the air pressure is high, but in our body the air pressure is low. So during the inhalation process, the oxygen rich air it comes in our body, because it has a high pressure in the outer environment. In our body the air pressure is low. That's why during inhalation we inhale oxygen rich air in our body. Now our next topic is mechanism of exhalation, because breathing means inhalation and exhalation. We have discussed mechanism of inhalation. Now we are discussing about mechanism of exhalation. Just reverse process during the exhalation. It means in inhalation we are saying ribs they move out and a diaphragm it moves down. So just reverse process in the exhalation process. It means ribs they move back. It means they move inward. Diaphragm it moves up. It moves in the normal position, so that the area inside the chest cavity it will decrease, and due to the decrease in the area the air pressure will increase. Now inside our body the air pressure is high as compared to outer environment. That's why we release carbon dioxide rich air from our body to the outer environment. So just reverse process in the exhalation. So in the exhalation ribs they move back in the normal position, diaphragm moves up, it comes in the normal position. So due to this the area decreases inside the chest cavity and air pressure will increase, so that the carbon dioxide rich air we exhale in the outer environment. So this is the mechanism of inhalation and exhalation, or we can say it is a breathing mechanism, because breathing means one inhalation and one exhalation. Thank you for watching my video.